Welcome to Mark Who 42's universe here on Subspace Radio. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten. We hope you've enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend. We had a blast as well. Well, anyway, on today's show, Mark Who 42's excellent adventure through the universe of pop culture continues into the most tubular decade of the 1980s. We've decided to separate the coverage into two parts. This week, movies with different categories for science fiction, drama, comedy, and action. This episode, we go from Indiana Jones to the Cannonball Run. Listen in. It's definitely not bogus. And now, here's the show.
Hi, this is Cindy Morgan, but you probably know me as Yori in Tron or Lacey Underall in Caddyshack. And you're listening to Mark Who 42.
Welcome, it's Mark Who 42. We're just here being totally radical and talking the 80s. Specifically, 80s movies. Because, yeah, what's totally awesome than 80s movies? Hey, I'm your radical host, Eduardo M. Fryer. And with me is my bodacious babe of a wife,
Trish Fryer.
And we also got the totally radical and gnarly
Zan Kiros?
Yeah. So we're keep going with our time traveling back to talking totally cool pop culture of the decades. And hey, we're covering 80s movies. But why just 80s movies? Because there are just so many awesome movies, we're giving it its own show. So hey, we're gonna start things off with totally awesome sci-fi. So Trish, what's your totally awesome first choice?
Well, my first choice has to be Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not only my favorite movie of the 80s, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And how more epic can you get with this time travel adventure? And it's just so new. It was just so new for the time and just different and so well done. It's such a perfectly made movie.
And quotable.
Very quotable.
You know, that is one of I agree on you that it is arguably the greatest movie of the 80s. So much so that I barely watch it just to keep it fresh.
Wow.
I take a different approach.
Yeah,
I watched it way too much. I probably watched it at least a couple times a week when I was a kid.
Wow. Okay. And you know what? You beat me. You beat me because I don't think I owned a home copy.
We taped it off of HBO, I think.
Ooh.
And yeah, we wore that tape out. It was, yeah, and it used to drive me crazy because, it would say to be continued, and I would always yell at this, when is the next part coming?
I actually saw it in theaters, and they didn't have the to be continued.
Really?
It just, I think when it first, I don't know if later theatrical showings did, but I know the first run, it didn't have the to be continued, it just said the end. So
probably
first time I saw it at home.
It was going to be.
Yeah. First time I saw it at home, and I saw the to be continued. I forget who I watched it with, but we're looking at each other and we're like, wait, what? Wait, to be continued? What?
Well, and it was like, it came out 4 years later? Isn't that when?
Yeah.
The second part came out?
Yeah, 89.
And, when you're a kid, 4 years is forever.
Oh yeah.
And so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I felt like that was way too long to go between movies.
Okay, so what's number two?
Number two would have to be E.T.
Oh,
for me.
Another iconic John Williams score.
Yes, and that was the first movie I ever saw in the movie theater.
Oh wow!
I was 3 years old, and it emotionally wrecked me, and I cried the whole way home.
Yep.
But I still thought it was a great movie.
Oh yeah, I've cried at E.T.
I did not.
Wow. Are you sure?
E.T. See, like, I felt bad for the alien, but at the same time, if there's an alien coming to Earth, they need to do exactly that.
Oh, ooh, killing aliens when they come to Earth. Wow.
I don't trust them.
Oh, ow, ow, damn. Damn.
I mean, I guess you could look at it this way. There must be some kind of reason why, we haven't had contact with other alien life,
They probably look at everything they're probably like Chevy Chase and National Lampoon's Vacation. They swing by the neighborhood, they see what's going on, and they go, roll them up, roll them up. What's your number 3, Trish?
Number 3 is Empire Strikes Back.
Oof, yes.
Because,
yes.
That's one of the most iconic films.
Not to mention one of the most iconic twists in sci-fi film history. Makes me very glad we did not have the internet back in 1980, because can you just imagine the spoiler threads?
That's lucky.
OMG, what a twist! Vader is Luke's father.
I just wonder what it would have been like to be in the movie theater, and hear everybody's reaction to that.
Unfortunately, I think I was too young, but I still remember the twist. I still remember being like,
well, if Mark was
wow.
here, I'm sure he'd be able to tell us, because he's old.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh man.
I'm sure he's gonna love hearing that when he edits this together.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Mark.
I'm sure that Mark would have been one of those that if the internet had existed back in 1980, he would have been responsible and not tried to spoil it for everybody. He would have just been like, "You have to go see Empire." So.
I think he would spoil it for the people he hates, though.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Zion, what is your numero uno?
My numero uno, I'd go with Terminator.
Ooh, nice.
Oof.
Mostly
That one scared me. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Same here. It was a movie that scared the living hell out of me when I was a kid. Mostly not because of the walking robot trying to kill you no matter what, but Skynet. At an early age, I completely understood. Wow, Skynet could actually happen.
Wow.
AI might actually take over all of the nuclear arsenals and just let loose. And just that thought, I was like, that's actually kind of scary.
Wow.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah,
I agree.
And it fits that film too, because the original is more of like a horror film rather than an action film like its sequel.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, very much. Take away the robot, the robot elements of it, and the Terminator is like a serial killer. It's like a little, horror thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your number 2?
Number 2 is ironically an action sequel to the horror original Aliens.
Ooh, okay. And hey, another shot by James Cameron.
Another shot by James Cameron, and another tear at my terrors when I was like 8.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. This movie just speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You have stuff coming out of people's chests, and this super hostile 10-foot creature that's jet black with no eyes. That's the part that really worried me. It has no eyes. I can't look at it in its eye. But yeah, just the entire movie is just it's a testament to how the 80s kind of worked, where the sequels always somewhat ended up better than the originals, or at the least always in the running with the originals.
Yep. Not to mention Aliens, very quotable. I mean, come on. How many times has everybody here said, "Game over, man! Game over!"
Very true.
The late, great Bill Paxton. We miss you, buddy. Okay, number 3, Zion.
Number 3 is Star Trek 2.
Oh, Wrath of Khan. Yeah, no, that is a good one. That is a good one. And for me, I think the true proper introduction for doing Trek in the movies. Because I mean, no offense to the motion picture, but it was just very long.
It is not for everyone.
Got too
No.
cerebral, whereas Wrath of Khan, I mean it still feels like Star Trek, but a little bit more action.
My father really loved Wrath of Khan, and he used to watch it a lot, and it used to scare me so much, especially the part with putting the things in their ears.
Oh yeah.
It was gone.
I will tell you this, that I used to be scared to go to sleep at night because I was afraid something like that was going to crawl into my ear. And I would always make sure that I had the covers pulled up over my ears, and I would sleep like that. And I did that forever. And even now I have a hard time sleeping without something over my ears. And that's all because of Star Trek.
Oof. Oh boy.
Wow.
Nicholas Meyer, we have to talk to you.
Out of the movies that I've actually listed, that's the only one that I've seen in theaters. And it's weird to say, but seeing these movies in theaters is completely and utterly different than seeing them on TV.
Oh yeah.
I totally agree.
Definitely. Let's see. Well, for me, I would have to say, it's funny, Zion, that you bring up Star Trek Wrath of Khan, because my first pick is Star Trek 4.
The one with the whales.
The one with the whales, which I actually enjoy. Like I like both Wrath of Khan and Voyage Home. I find Voyage Home actually the better film in the sense that it's a little bit more approachable. Like you don't have to be a huge Trek fan to enjoy Voyage Home. And other than the fact that it picks up almost directly from where 3 left off, it's very accessible. Like simple plot. They're going back in time to grab humpback whales to save the Earth of the future. And the humor. The humor's just spot on. We of course have the iconic comedy moment of Scotty with computer. Hello, computer. I mean, come on. That's who can that's probably, I mean, not only is it a funny moment, I think it's one of the best Trek moments ever. Like it's right up there, like top 5. Number 2, I'd have to go with They Live. It's a little cheesy, but
Very cheesy.
if you want to see if you want to see a film that that basically tries to encapsulate the 80s, this is it. I mean, the whole, the fact that you have aliens taking over Earth, and it's not with flying saucers and ray guns, it's simply by appealing to, just the greed in mankind. And then just the whole thing with the glasses and just the subliminal messages of consume, obey. At one point, Rowdy Piper looks at money and it says, this is your God. It just encapsulates so perfect. Like it's just such a great parody. Not to mention the alleyway fight between Rowdy Piper and Keith David is just wow. That is it. It's just something incredible. So I mean,
South Park did a parody of it.
Exactly. See,
they did a shot for shot.
Yeah. See, you're actually proving my point, Trish. The fact that years later, decade later or so, you had South Park actually doing a shot-for-shot remake. Come on. I mean, that has to say something. If somebody like remembers that and decides to pay homage to it. Number 3 for my sci-fi, Trish. I'm sorry, but I have to bring this up.
Uh-oh.
Buckaroo Banzai. Buckaroo Banzai is my number 3. What? I'm sorry, Zion. You say again?
I've never heard of.
You've never heard of Buckaroo Banzai? Oh,
never.
Wow. Okay. This is it was done.
I don't know whether to tell you should go watch it or not. Maybe you should, because
Zion,
we should all
watch it.
It is.
It's like it's it's this great. It owes a lot to Doc Savage. With the whole thing of the hero being, a polyglot with like different disciplines. And having like a team of sidekicks together. It's got humor. It's got Jeff Goldblum before he became big. It actually, the cast is kind of almost all-star because you have Peter Weller of RoboCop fame. You've got Jeff Goldblum. You've got John Lithgow, Christopher Lloyd. There's even the deleted scene which had Jamie Lee Curtis. So definitely I would have to put Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, actually, Zion, I think you should watch it, and then I want to know what you think.
All
Yeah,
right.
there you go. Okay, yeah, no, yeah, find it and watch it. Um, anybody? Okay, anybody have a runner-up for sci-fi?
Can I have a? I'm gonna trade mine in for a dishonorable mention.
Ooh.
Um, okay, we're really supposed to be talking about what we like, but you know what? I'm curious. What's your dishonorable mention?
Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay,
right. You're not a fan of that one.
really? Okay, is it because of the Ewoks?
Um, is okay. It's half because of the Ewoks and half because it encapsulate it encapsulates what Star Wars became from Return of the Jedi to the prequels. It didn't want it tried to figure out didn't want to be a sci-fi film or a toy brand. And that's kind of where it started with episode 6, because you have the one of the greatest scenes in Star Wars with Jabba's palace. The entire thing is just perfect. Then you get the Endor, and then you just hear like, okay, am I about to go to Toys R Us or what?
Interesting. Very interesting. Interesting take. Trish, do you have a runner-up or a dishonorable mention?
Nope, I don't actually. Sorry. I have
Okay,
a.
that's
Yep.
that's fine. Um, I think for me, runner-up, I'm gonna have to go with Transformers the movie.
Yes.
Yep, Transformers the movie. I mean, hell, it's a. I mean, okay, yeah, the plot is, not that. I mean, yeah, the plot's kind of simple, but the animation's great. You have Leonard Nimoy as Galvatron, which is awesome. You have the late great Orson Welles as Unicron, and just the fact that there's a ton of stuff in the film that still gets used in different iterations, like how many times Unicron has shown up, the fact that the Matrix is now a part of Transformers lore. So really, I mean, that's, come on,
Can I
say what
ask?
you will about the film.
Can I ask you how old were you when you watched it?
First time out, 10
Yes.
years old.
Did you cry when Optimus died?
Um, no, only because the commercials for the film seemed to be like prepping me for it. I will say this, I was shocked at the beginning of the film when the Decepticons attack the shuttle and kill Ironhide, Prowl, and those guys.
Okay.
Because I wasn't expecting that. It was like they prepped me for Optimus Prime dying. They did not prep me for everybody else. I'm like, what?
See,
What?
like I saw the movie around the same time. I think I was 12, and like
Yeah.
when I saw it, I just literally sat there. I was like, finally, this all makes sense. The 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 Decepticons have all the cool things. They have the combiners. They have all the other stuff. They should be slapping these guys into the face,
Jeez.
and here they are, finally doing it.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, wow. Okay, on that dramatic note, we're gonna switch categories now. We're gonna go to drama. Grab your tissues because we're getting into drama. Trish, what's your numero uno in drama?
My number one is Dirty Dancing.
Ooh, nobody backs baby into a corner. Hey, okay, wow, good choice. Trish, what's your number two?
Number two for me is The Breakfast Club.
Ooh, another good one. Another
Yep.
good one. And
I
great
tend
cast and iconic music.
Yep, I tend to like the softer dramas. I'm not like a hard drama person. And I guess my third choice is maybe the hardest out of all of them, which would be Footloose,
Ooh,
which in
okay.
itself is not as not a very hard one. But I mean, I feel like Dirty Dancing, Breakfast Club, and Footloose all kind of fall into the same, type of drama. They're all pretty much a softer, like teenage, angsty type drama.
Yeah.
And
Although at least Footloose kind of breaks it up a little bit with some dancing and music.
yeah, same with Dirty Dancing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And of course, nobody backs baby into a corner.
no.
Not
But yeah,
even if it's Jerry Orbach.
yeah, 80s drama.
Nice. Zion, what's your first pick in drama?
My first pick would be Full Metal Jacket.
Ooh, that is a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah,
And that's R. Lee Emery as the gunnery sergeant, right?
yes.
Oh yeah.
That is arguably, I think, one of my favorite movies ever. It simply because of the beginning, because the sergeant was a real sergeant. So so he was just there and said, "Just do your job," and he just did it. And I'm not like, that's incredible.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. What's number 2?
Number 2 is Platoon.
Ooh, another good one. Another good war drama one.
That one is funny because it's not funny, but but I first saw that. No, the second time I saw that movie was in high school, and my history teacher said, "Okay, we are going to watch Platoon," and everyone was like, "Okay, whatever this movie is," and I'm just there sitting. Oh my God, these guys have no idea what they're going to sit in and watch.
Oh jeez, wow. Okay, and what's number 3?
And number 3 is The Right Stuff.
Ooh, that is a really good one. Plus, great soundtrack.
Amazing soundtrack. One of the best. Bill Conti really can make a soundtrack.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, that movie is I love it and I also hate it, and I really hate it at the same time because of the scene with Gus. There is a scene in the movie where one of the astronauts blows the hatch of the Mercury capsule, and he's blamed for it, but he didn't actually do it. So when you actually go look into the history, he actually did not blow the fuse.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just don't like how that movie just picks and pokes at Gus saying that he blew the hatch. Because let's all be honest, if he did blow the hatch, he would have been cut from the astronaut corps, and that's it. But instead of that, they used him for another flight and put him on the first Apollo flight, which sadly he died on. But anyway, yeah, The Right Stuff.
Yeah. Well, for me, dramas. First off, I'd have to go with Wall Street. Great performance by Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen. And just like They Live is a great parody of the 80s, especially the greed and the materialism, Wall Street is perfect for showing that in a serious light. And I've even said, if you want like the perfect representation of the devil in film, you go with Michael Douglas's Gordon Gekko. Not because he has red skin and horns, but because of just how much of a tempter he is. How much he's like, hey, do you want this good stuff? Do you like having the good stuff? I can get you the good stuff. You just have to listen to me. So, just perfect like that. Number 2, I'm going to have to go with Good Morning Vietnam. Great performance by Robin Williams. And because of that movie, I can never hear the song What a Wonderful World the same way ever again. Because just the use of that in that film is just, it is crushing. It is, wow. It's just, holy cow. That just, I can't, wow. That burns in the brain. Number 3, I would have to go with Dead Poets Society. Once again, another great performance by Robin Williams. Great performance by the young cast that's in there. And you even have some people that went on to bigger and better things, because you have Ethan Hawke is in there. It's just such a great, as someone who has done private school, I mean, not boarding school, but private school, I can feel what a lot of the kids are going through. And I will admit right here, that film gave me my first ugly cry, like just serious, just waterfall tears. And I don't want to ruin it, but anybody who's seen it can probably guess why. And not to mention, hey, powerful ending with "Oh Captain, My Captain." It's just, yeah, definitely. And unfortunately, on that note, we have gotten to the moment where we're going to commercials, which, given the fact that we ended with drama, we definitely need a commercial break, because I think I need to grab the tissues, need to stop thinking about, poor Robert Sean Leonard and Dead Poets Society. Like, I seriously need to stop, because wow. But yeah, good thing that when we get back from commercial, we're doing action, adventure, and comedy, because we need to lighten things up, seriously. So yeah, wow. So we will be back. Marku 42. '80s movies, action comedy, and seriously, yeah. I need to pick me up right now.
We'll be back with more of Mark Who 42's universe.
Hello, geeks and geekettes. I'm Steve Megatron, and if you're looking for a podcast that covers a vast array of geeky topics, then check out Altered Geek. Altered Geek covers superheroes, Star Trek, pop culture, comics, film, television, animation, gaming, tech, and more. So check out Altered Geek and get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks every Friday on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, Blog Talk Radio, and the Geekcast Radio Network.
You are listening to Mark Who 42's universe.
Welcome back to the NBC Sunday Night Movie. We now return to Romancing the Stone, starring Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and Danny DeVito. I'm just kidding. It's Mark Who 42. We've been talking 80s movies. We just went through sci-fi and drama. But you know what? Let's get to some happier stuff because, yeah, I'm still shell-shocked from drama. We're now going to go to action and adventure. And you know what, Trish? Why don't you go first?
All right. Well, my first choice in action adventure, I'm cheating. It's going to be 3 movies together, but they all encapsulate Indiana Jones.
Okay, you know what? I will allow it. I think, you know what? I think in this case, the cheater's allowed. Because, yeah, awesome movies, and once again, iconic John Williams score.
I think John Williams is, kind of like, he is,
Oof. Yeah,
the
he's Mr.
reason
Soundtrack.
He's Mr. Soundtrack. He's the reason that all these movies are so good. I think it's that music.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Oh, yeah. Did he like officially retire after Star Wars Episode 9 or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, darn it.
At least he made it through all the Star Wars movies, though.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, he's in his 90s. He deserves a break.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I will admit, not being able to expect new John Williams music, that's tough, but yeah, the man deserves a rest. He's earned it. He has earned it in spades. Definitely.
Yeah. And Indiana Jones movies, I love Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade. Temple of Doom is okay. I mean, I still like it, but not as much as the other two.
It can be a little too gruesome.
It's a little gruesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But hey, Last Crusade, we've got Sean Connery as Indy's dad.
Yes.
Like almost heck. I mean, I would you think it would be fair to say that in some cases, Connery actually overshadows Harrison Ford, like he steals the scene?
I think that's a fair assumption. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Harrison. Sorry, but I mean, this is Sean Connery. You understand, right? Hopefully, if he's listening, he understands. I don't want to PO Indiana Jones and Han Solo. He's probably grumbling right now. Sean Connery. Sean Connery, Henry Sr., Jr.
Okay, that's enough.
What's your second choice?
My second choice is Die Hard.
Ooh, good. And it's a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is.
No, I'm putting my foot down right now. It's a Christmas movie. I don't care. I don't care what Bruce Willis says. It's a Christmas movie.
It's a good movie. I didn't see it actually until I was an adult, and my brother made me watch it, and it was so much better than I thought, because Bruce Willis can rub me the wrong way sometimes, but I mean, Alan Rickman as the bad guy. He's so good.
Well, especially when he's impersonating a hostage.
Yes.
What's his name? Nash?
I don't remember.
Like something Nash or something like that. Something like that. But yeah, him trying to pretend he's all like, cowardly and oh man, oh wow, thank goodness you're here.
The part where he gets dropped off the building at the end.
Because you know that Christmas is not official until Hans Gruber falls off Nakatomi Plaza.
And when they filmed that scene, they told Alan Rickman they were gonna go 1, 2, 3 and drop him, and they dropped him on 2 instead of 3. And so that look of shock on his face is real.
For real.
Oh my goodness.
And he probably had some colorful language afterwards. You're supposed to do it on 3. Speaking of which, what is number 3?
Number 3 for me, I guess maybe this, wouldn't be the top of a lot of people's lists, but it's such a iconic movie from my childhood. We used to watch it a lot, and that's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Commando.
I will accept it. I will accept it. I will accept that.
It's just
great action movie.
It's so filled with action, and it's so funny to watch because we used to have a taped version of it that was off of TV, and so it was like edited and dubbed and everything like that. That's the one I remember watching because it wasn't until way later that I saw the unedited version, and I actually prefer the edited version because it's just I just love it when they have the way they used to dub movies back in the 80s. It's so funny. Yeah. But and just that one scene of where he's got the machine gun and he's firing the bullets, and when it switches between shots, the bullets, the chain of bullets gets shorter and longer. He's almost out of bullets, and then the very next scene he's got a whole bunch more still there.
Oh yeah, not to mention I think weren't we watching it recently, and we were trying to figure out if there was any way between between shots that he could have refilled, and we're just like nope. Like, I think maybe we found one. We found like maybe 1 or 2 instances where it might be possible.
But he wasn't carrying extra bullets. That's the problem.
We'll see. Okay, yeah, and that's the other thing. Yeah.
I don't want to know where he was hiding them.
Moving on, because I don't want to know either. Zion, what is your number 1?
My number 1, I have to put Predator.
Ooh, Arnold again.
And I actually tried to think about this because I wanted to put it in sci-fi, but for a good chunk of the movie, there's not one lick of alien at all.
That is true. No, that is true. I mean, the Predator doesn't show up until way into the film, so really, yeah, you could call it an action-adventure movie, like in addition to sci-fi.
Yeah, that movie is actually insane.
Oh, yeah. Yep, and not to mention, did you know that before it was Kevin Peter Hall, the Predator was going to be played by Jean-Claude Van Damme?
What? Really?
Yeah.
Guile?
That was the original idea, and then they went with Kevin Peter Hall, which, no offense to Jean-Claude, but I think they made the right choice.
They absolutely did.
Oh yeah, because you needed that height, that height.
Interesting.
I've also heard after this episode is done, I got to tell you, I also heard some stories about the guy who played Billy, the Native American. I've heard stories. I've heard some stories. Yeah. So yeah, but later, definitely later, because I don't think we have the time for it.
Right.
But what's your number 2?
My number 2 would be First Blood.
Ooh, and that would be you're talking the first Rambo movie.
Yes.
Like the very first one.
Yes.
Wow. And that's another one that could be like you could also put in drama, because I mean it's very the first First Blood movie, has like it's a bit more dramatic than the other Rambo movies, and I think what would surprise people is that it's less about Sylvester Stallone with machine guns and shooting people up than it is more about here's a veteran with PTSD.
Right.
So what's your number 3?
Number 3, I would have to put it Top Gun.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. Definitely.
I really didn't know if this counted as action, but if you have planes shooting at each other, then it counts as action. So,
what? It can count. Yeah, it can count. Trish, I know you're not a big Top Gun fan, are you?
Nope, not really.
Not
of
really?
Course, I didn't see it for the first time until, like 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay, all right. No, that's fine, because I mean, there's a bunch of 80s stuff I didn't see until I was older, so it happins.
Well, that stupid volleyball scene is like so dumb.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
I mean, I always used to hear about this volleyball scene, and it's all so sexy, all these guys in shorts and no shirts, and I watch it and I'm just like, ew.
Wow. Okay. Well, do you want to see me play volleyball?
No.
No, not even me. Okay. All right. I should be glad you already said
Volleyball is not a sexy sport, okay?
Okay. Oh, okay. So I could do another sport.
Less
You could watch me
volleyball,
playing
more
another
points.
sport. Actually, I like your sentiment.
They sure try to make volleyball a sexy sport. I mean, look at the Olympics, look at the uniforms they make the girls wear. Yeah, no. But it's not.
Well, it's not just the Olympics. Excuse me for getting a little ahead of myself. It's also, I mean, hey, you have a video game spin-off that's dedicated to volleyball as well. So yeah, Dead or Alive, Extreme Beach Volleyball. But we'll get to that one. We'll get to that one another day. But yeah. So yeah, there have been multiple attempts. Wow. Oh geez, I would say for me, as far as like action adventure, Romancing the Stone. I mean, we brought up Indiana Jones. I definitely want to bring up Romancing the Stone. Not quite as not quite as polished as Indiana Jones, but still Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas, great pair, and hey, great comedy by Danny DeVito. The other one I would have to put Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. Another piece of 80s cheese, but fun 80s cheese, especially seeing Wilford Brimley, of all people, as head of a Black Ops CIA type organization. It might be a difficult watch today because we have one of the main characters is supposed to be a martial arts master, played by Joel Grey from Cabaret, so might not go down as easy today as it would back in the day, but it is a source of like unintentional comedy, especially because seeing Joel Grey pretending to be Korean, yeah, so it might be one of those things where it's funny in sort of a wrong kind of way. The other one I'd have to say is Streets of Fire. It's another piece of 80s cheese, but it's fun 80s cheese, especially because you have the villain is a young Willem Dafoe. You also have a very young Diane Lane as like the damsel in distress, and her manager, because she's a singer, is played by Rick Moranis, and it's Rick Moranis as a jerk, as just this total jerk that you just do not like. You do not want to be a fan of. So I mean, definitely worth a watch, at least for some fun cheese. And speaking of fun, I think what, I know that we usually are doing let's get to honorable mentions, but I think what, let's get to comedy, because there's a bunch of great picks in that. So Trish, what is your first for comedy?
Let's see here. My list is extensive, but for me, one of my favorite comedies of the 80s is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Excellent!
Yes. Hey, perfect. You know what? You got us started with Back to the Future. You brought us back to time travel with Bill and Ted. That is awesome. That is awesome. We got an air guitar for this.
It's just one of those movies that I can watch and rewatch, and I don't get tired of it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the new one that's coming out. What's it called? Bill and Ted's
Face the Music.
Face the Music.
Bill and Ted Face the Music. Yeah.
Because I'm hoping for it to just be a very nice, nostalgic. I want that same feeling that I got with the first movie. Not that big a fan of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I like it. Excellent Adventure better. But yeah,
that one, I think Bogus Journey we could cover in the 90s.
Yes.
Because that came out like 91 or so.
This is still a movie I need to look at.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think
just go into it looking for just a cheesy comedy that don't take it seriously.
Yep. And we need, I'm gonna have to compile a list of stuff you haven't seen, Zion, and we're gonna have to sit you down. We're gonna have to like somehow get to to Florida and give you like a marathon. What is your number 2?
Number 2 is Spaceballs.
Yes. Yes.
Because Mel Brooks.
Yep, Mel Brooks and Rick Moranis again.
Yes.
Once again, we got Rick Moranis. So,
But
hey.
Spaceballs, I mean, if you grew up loving Star Wars and you have a sense of humor, then you're gonna love Spaceballs.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Star Wars and a sense of humor? What?
Well, I'd heard that some people weren't happy with it because they didn't like the liberties that they took with it, kind of destroying Star Wars, but come on.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, there you go. Come on. Definitely worth a come on.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. What is...
And that one's highly quotable too.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
I mean,
definitely.
Yeah.
How many times? Well, how many times have we driven in the snow and we're like, ludicrous speed?
Go.
Yeah.
Turn on the high beams, yeah.
Yep, there you go. Or a couple of times that I've gotten up in the morning, it's like, I'm fine. How are you?
Yep.
Smoke if you got 'em. Yeah. Oh man. What's your number 3?
Number 3 for me is the Blues Brothers.
Yes.
I mean, that came out. That just barely made it into the 80s. Ooh, but
yep.
I love that movie.
The humor and the music.
The music is so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
oh man.
I mean, it's based off characters from Saturday Night Live, and I mean, it's just one of the few movies that came from Saturday Night Live that actually really worked.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, it's definitely the music.
Zion, you've got work to do. What's your number 1?
Well, I first need to say that I don't really watch much comedies, so my list only has 2 on there. But okay, the first one is American Psycho, and now look, that's a comedy. American Psycho is a comedy.
Huh?
It is entirely satire.
Okay. All right. I'm working with you there. Okay. All right.
Nothing in that movie is meant to be taken seriously. Like if you go into the deep depths of what that movie actually is, it's actually a comedy. But it's not sold as a comedy.
I'm following you. Not to mention that. I will say this though. While it takes place in the 80s, it actually came out in 2000. But
it did. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? But I'll allow it since it is a scathing look at 80s culture.
And the second one is Airplane.
Yes, thank you. Yes,
that's a good second choice.
the mother of all, one of the mother of all parody films. Yes. Oh man, I am so glad somebody brought that up. Wow, that is a good one. That is definitely a good one.
Also highly quotable.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I'm serious.
Surely you must be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. And I picked a bad week to quit sniffing glue. Oh, jeez. But yeah, you sure you don't have a third one?
I am positive. I do not. If I had watched Beetlejuice, I would say so, but I haven't.
Okay, so you know what, Trish, we got to add Beetlejuice to the list. For me, first one, Cannonball Run. My dad loves cars. I'm probably not as big a car nut as he is, but part of that is the reason I love this film. It's got a lot of awesome cars, all-star cast, because we've got Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, Roger Moore making fun of himself. We have Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin in a Ferrari. We got 2 really good-looking ladies in a Lamborghini Countach. But it's just, and we got Jamie Farr. Although Jamie Farr's performance, he plays a character called the Sheik, might not be as PC nowadays as some may take it, but still, just hilarious film, great cars, and I love the theme song, and it's just perfect for for a movie like this. For my second choice, I'm gonna go with Trading Places. We talked about Blues Brothers, how it's a great, it's a great SNL comedy, great music. Trading Places, this is Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, great duo. Zion, is this one you've seen, or is this another one you haven't?
Added to the list.
Okay, got to add it to the list, but it's an awesome movie. Great performance by Eddie Murphy, great performance by Dan Aykroyd. It has a young Jamie Lee Curtis, but yeah, very quotable. Kind of like Jamie Farr as the Sheik in Cannonball Run. There may be a couple of scenes that nowadays might not play very well.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly there's a scene in the beginning with Eddie Murphy that, in light of recent events, might not play very well. But it's still a very funny movie, and I do recommend it. The funny part is, did you ever see Coming to America?
Yes.
There is a scene in Coming to America that ties into Trading Places.
Really?
Huh. I won't tell you what it is, but chances are, once you start Trading Places, you'll be able to figure it out. But I remember when I saw Coming to America and I saw that particular scene, I'm like, whoa, they actually did that. Connected to Trading Places. That is awesome. So definitely, that's definitely put on your list. My third for comedy, I would have to put Dragnet. That one is, it's Dan Aykroyd, Tom Hanks, and while it's an adaptation of, the classic series, the classic dun 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 dun, it is played for laughs, and for me, it works. It's one of those things where it's an affectionate parody, and they do some homages to the classic series, like the original, one of the original actors, Harry Morgan. He's in it as the captain, and they just do Dan Aykroyd's character is supposed to be the latest in the Friday family to be a cop, and it just has a lot of funny stuff. I love it. There's a running joke with the fact that the lead female is named the Virgin Connie Swale. So that's just great. So yeah, Dragnet, definitely. Yeah, those are my choices. Definitely, Zion. We got to add them to the list. You got to see them. We got to educate you 80s wise. But you know what? We do have some time. So you know what? Do you have any honorable mentions in either comedy or action adventure?
I have one because you brought it up. Coming to America.
Oh yeah, definitely. That is hilarious. Oh man, I think probably the funniest thing for me is Samuel Jackson's cameo as the guy who tries to rob the fast food joint. That is just, yeah. I think probably one of the things that makes it so funny, other than the fact that it's Samuel Jackson, is this is probably the only time that Samuel Jackson will get his butt kicked.
Yes.
Because I don't think you could. I do not think you could get away with that in a movie nowadays. Everybody would just not believe it.
Outside of episode 3, yes, you are correct.
Yeah. Well, on the other hand, it's like, yeah, episode 3, it kind of had to happen, because I mean, you couldn't have Mace Windu live and then be like, well, where was he during everything?
True.
Yeah, for me, comedy. Oh wow, there's just a ton. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Ooh,
because yeah, that. I mean, okay, you could also kind of put it under action, under fantasy, but it's such a great movie, and for me, like the whole, for me that I love team ups and crossovers, this was just a dream come true. It's still a dream come true. I think to this day, I haven't been able to pin down every character that appears.
Wow, really?
Like, I've seen lists that say this character appeared and that character appears, and then I try to find it, and I'm like, I don't know, I can't find it. Like I feel like I've actually like I failed in my geekdom by not being able to get it. Of course now I feel like maybe one day I'll finally get it, but I'll be like 80 something, and then that's when I die. I'll just be like I'll just be like, I found them all, and then that's it. It's like my time on Earth is done. Another great comedy. We have to mention this, The Princess Bride.
Yes.
Oh, just so good.
I forgot about.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the fact that it was. I mean, if we had the time and we did top 5, it would have been on my top 5 list. I'm sure it would have been on Trish's top 5 list. Oh, geez, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes.
That's another one, and I got to give a shout out to Josh Gad for his Reunited Apart videos. The Ferris Bueller reunion was so good, and you know what? He almost made me cry with that John Hughes tribute. Like, he almost made me cry. Okay, this is a bit of a cheat, but got to do the Police Academy movies.
I've never seen those.
Oh, okay, we got to put it on the list. On the list. If anything, just for some of the performances alone, especially Michael Winslow. Michael Winslow as Jones, definitely. The Naked Gun movies. I mean, if you loved Airplane, Naked Gun, same people. And heck, it's even Leslie Nielsen. So wow, just definitely. I think, and the last one, last but not least, because wow, we are running out of time. Got to give a shout out to UHF. UHF, my man Weird Al. That is just such a great. I think it's underappreciated. I know that when it came out, it did not get the love. But it's one of those things that's become a cult classic, and deservedly so.
Right.
I mean, and by the way, for anybody who's a fan of Mystery Science Theater, a little bit of trivia: Joel Hodgson, the original human himself, was supposed to be in that movie. He was supposed to have the part of the scientist, but yeah, I can't remember what happened, but yeah, he ended up not getting it, which is part of it's unfortunate, but still, that's one of those that's also really quotable. Some of the humor might be a little wrong nowadays, like today we're teaching poodles how to fly. Might be a little wrong, but still definitely just such a great comedy. I mean, wow. Honestly, I got to say about this episode, it is a tough one to do because there's just so many, and we've probably forgotten to put stuff in there. So, wow, it's just, but hey, you know what? We're out of time, which is unfortunate because I kind of wish this was like a 2-hour show so we could throw everything in there. But for anything we didn't throw in, apologize to the fans and people who made it. We just don't have the time.
We do not have the time.
Yep. Join us for next week because I'm doing my best Casey Kasem because we're going to go into music and TV. So, hey, from all of us here at Mark Who 42, thanks for listening and join us next time.
Mark Who 42's Universe is presented by Mark Baumgarten, Patricia Fryer, Eduardo M. Fryer, Iggy Matthews, and Zion Quiros. Mark Who 42's Universe is edited, directed, and produced by Mark Baumgarten. Theme music by Thursday 2000. Mark Who 42's Universe, copyright 2020.